I know I keep ranting about how expensive this epoxy is, but really it's one of the things where if you just take a little bit of time and a little bit of energy to make sure you're doing this process right, it can save you a lot of headaches later. Your project will look better and you'll save money. So I recommend doing these steps even if they seem a little bit redundant. Now this last part is actually prepping for the pour, and what you have to do is use this calculation I just found online. It's pi times the radius squared times the height. So this will actually get us the volume, and it's the volume of a cylinder, which is basically what this circle is. It's a circle with height. So now that I gave you a quick little geometry lesson there, what we're doing now is mixing this up. So I'm using, once again, that Fathom Total Boat 2-to-1 deep pour epoxy mixture. And here you get a nice video of my feet, and the dogs are out right now. So I was doing this in the morning so it could dry all day, and it was actually kind of helpful because I just mixed up these two in a cooking bowl, and then obviously I threw this bad boy away, but just mix it up in there with a scrap piece of wood and then put in the charcoal mixture. So this is a charcoal mixture. I actually just got it off of Amazon, and it actually turned out really well. I was worried about getting something that was relatively inexpensive, but with the price of it, never heard of the brand, it actually worked out really well. So this is my favorite part, and what everyone sees all over YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, it's the epoxy pour. And this is what we're doing right now. It's just dumping it all in there. And as you can see, we have the color, the little bit of shine, the little bit of shimmer, the little bit of quietness. This is a little bit of everything in this epoxy. So I was really excited how the mixture turned out and actually how the pour was. You can see the math was almost right on. I literally used exactly how much I needed. Measurements were right, math was right. So you know I did get an A in geometry based upon this pour. But long story short, enough with the jokes. This is actually a really exciting situation because pours like this can be tricky, but we got the exact amount we wanted. We just wanted to fill it up to the brim and not any more. We didn't waste any epoxy, and we didn't really make too much of a mess. Anything you can see on the outside is something we can sand off, which really isn't a big deal, but I wanted to make sure the epoxy didn't actually overflow too much. So as we talked about before, we are going to have to pop these bubbles with the blowtorch, and this isn't really a big deal. You just have to do it every few hours depending on how the bubbles form.